Hello, welcome to Farm Space. I have the privilege to visit IEF all the way in Tilburg, and we're talking about the Limousine Stud, the Rhone Limousine Stud, and what it means in this area and what they're currently busy with. Come have a listen. It's always nice and interesting talking to IEF. IEF, welcome to Farm Space.
Tinus, thanks for visiting. Always nice to have you here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. We just missed your rainy season, and as we can see, things go pretty dull pretty quickly here when you look at the grass around this area.
Absolutely, yeah. We had our summer coming quite early this year, and yeah, the grazing turned dry quite quickly.
Yeah. This area all over is known for fruit, wine. It's not necessarily well known for the cattle industry overall. If we look at the Rhone Limousins, how did it come to be that you decided to do limousines and you build the stud up to where it is now?
Well, we were predominantly a fruit enterprise, and we always had some crossbred cows, different breeds, mostly the Western Cape breeds. We used a few of them in a three-way cross. At a certain stage, my dad introduced the limousine bull to the herd, and the moment we saw the crossbred calves, we fell in love from day one, you know, and we thought we need to get our hands on more of these, and one thing led to another, and yeah, we went into stud and we got rid of all the commercial cars, and we went full on into stud. You know, that's one of the reasons why we believe in the limousine as the king of crossbreeding, because it is exactly what brought us to the breed.
Yes, I travel all over the country. I'm involved with some of especially your southern African breeds. You're talking Goonies, Burons, and you can see the crosses that people are posting, and there's sort of excitement in the air if you look at what's going on and how well these two genetically diverse animals, if you can call it that, because they're quite far apart genetically, how well they work together. It's like the limousine is just putting on meat on the right places at the right proportions on these animals.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's what drives us also. You know, I think we are in our own herd. We believe in a very strong commercial base, and I think that's where the sustainability for the breed lies, and for us as bull breeders as well. You know, if we can put a bull out in the market that can give the commercial guys good crossbred calves, I think that's what we need to do. I think the fact that the limousine gives a small calf at birth, it helps a lot, because a lot of the smaller, more indigenous breeds can open up even the heifers without any problems with limousine bulls. And then of course we have the heterosis, which just gives us a better weaner calf. But also, and I think that's the most important, a calf that adapts in the feedlot exceptionally well, feeds very, very efficient without having to add any hormones, and then also the slaughter out percentage. And I think that's our speciality, you know. So if we can enable commercial farmers to have or to farm with a light-bodied cow, but to wean a much higher value calf out of that cow, I think that's exactly where we want to be.
Throughout South Africa, for a long time, people did terminal crosses in this country and still do it to this day. But there is the economic impact of it, where you lose a lot on your heifer calves if they become part of that terminal crossing, because then at some point you don't have replacement heifers and you have to start buying in. With these crosses, you see people now keeping back those heifers and doing it successfully, and they are breeding well and they're becoming part of the system. So that terminal cross on the one side, but you get to keep your heifers. That must be for the breed, and for cattle in South Africa, it must be a positive outlook.
I think without a doubt. Especially, I think what helps a lot is the limousine. The color is quite neutral, and especially on the crossbreed, especially where it gets where the limousine bulls gets introduced to the red cows that we see on most farms in southern Africa. The calves are red. You know, the herd it don't get burnt, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that help a lot, and also smooth skin, which most of the time, a lot of the time, the British breeds they give a bit of a coat on their calves. With the Limousin, that's not the case. Where you have Limousin in crossbred systems, you will see the calves will be smooth, and I think that helps a lot.
On that point, you know, that smoothness does allow it to adapt into more places, because South Africa has got diverse, big biodiversity, lots of problems in terms of ticks all over the country. But guys like you do sell cattle all 9 provinces. You do sell across borders, and they've always adapted well. They've always done well, and the coat and the breed itself that does help and make it possible for the breed to adapt in places like Limpopo.
Definitely, and I think when we started breeding as well, you know, for us the main aim was always from day one, and still today it is, to breed a Limousin for Southern Africa. And it's easy to say it, but I think the most important stuff is we need to make them, or we felt the need to make them more early maturing. And we select for the smooth coat, and then we want them more early maturing, but we still want the robustness on the bulls. So we like to give the bulls a slight more bone and a bit more skin, but take out some shoulder out. And I think that help us a lot, you know. We usually say we farm with a Rolls Royce of beef cattle, but for Africa we need to put maybe another radiator in them and the other set of tires, and I think that's exactly where we are.
Yeah. A lot of things with the British breeds and the European breeds specifically, people worry about is late maturity in terms of first calves on the ground. It's always been an issue, and then people worry about things like your ICP, that's your production, if that comes too high. Where is the Limousin breed standing at that moment? That two crucial points.
Well, I think we took massive strides in that, say, as a breed during the past 10 to 15 years. If you look at the national herd average ICP, and especially the 1 or 2 or 3 more prominent herds, they've got low ICPs, and the age first calving look very good, you know. So we've got well adapted medium framed cows which one can farm with. In our own herd, I think our mature cow weight since 12 years ago is about down with 70 to 80 kilos per cow, but our weaning weights are up by 28 kilos a calf, you know. So
yeah.
So we are punting efficiency there, but of course we don't want to lose the muscle and performance on the bull. So I think to get that balance, and the balance is what it's all about, you know, and I think that's exactly what we're chasing.
And the last time I visited here, it was almost fairy tale sort. It was snow on the mountains, little drizzling of rain, everything was flowering around us, and it was pink blossoms everywhere, and beautiful cattle at the auction, and it was absolutely fairy tale stuff. But at the end of the day, and you had a good auction. But what happened since I was here that time and now? Things changed. Has Rhone changed his way of doing things? What's happening with the stud at the moment?
Yeah, well, I think we feel even stronger about the fact that we need to breed a medium-framed Limousin for Southern Africa, because most of our animals, especially the more expensive ones, went to farms and systems where they are very strongly focused on commercial cattle farming, and I think that was excellent for us, you know, so that's important. We know we're trying to breed a Limousin that's well adapted for the environment. We do a bit of AI with imported semen to keep the genetic diversity and not lose that, and keep on growing the gene pool. We did a national show as a herd. We don't usually show. We only do it every 3 years. A national show in Bloemfontein. We were awarded the national breeder of champions for the 6th consecutive national show, which is I think quite a compliment for our breeding. And especially on the female side, you know, we did very well. On the senior bulls, we don't usually show senior bulls, but in the young bull classes we did excellent. Yeah, in the meantime, yeah, we did a bit of embryo work as well. We're busy with that, which we're quite excited about. The first calves are on the ground and looking quite good. And then, of course, from industry perspective, we had quite a lot of new breeders joining the society, both in South Africa and also the neighbouring states, which I think is very exciting. And yeah, we are part of a lekker group to play in.
Yeah. We spoke earlier about you spoke earlier about the AR or the embryos on the ground and so on. The genetics that since the last auction, how did you think about the genetics that you're taking forward?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, I think the most important thing is we look at animals that's well adapted, and also we saw at our last auction there's a very strong drive for medium framed, well balanced beef animals, and I think that's what we're after. So we would not flush or multiply any of the more extreme animals. We just go middle of the road and good animals to farm with, but we know that we can win good calves, proper calves every year, and I think that's what we're after. It actually sounds quite simple.
Just go middle of the road. How difficult can it be?
Yeah.
We looked at your last auction. The overall performance of the animals, sold quite a lot of bulls. And as you said, a lot of them went to the commercial market as well. The time of your auction, is it planned? I know that it's very beautiful at that time, but do you take in consideration that it actually happens at that time of year where it's still nice and green here, and you're 2 months away in the rest of the country from green grass, where they go from green to green, and it helps with adapting?
Yeah, absolutely. I think well, one of the main reasons is the fact that we are it's just before our fruit season pick up speed, you know, so we can focus on the cattle then. But then also I think it's a good time of the year to move animals. They come out of quite a good season here, and they enter the rain season up country, and even in our neighboring countries. So yeah, it works quite well. I think the move from south to north have always been quite good to us, you know, and we also try and really make an effort wherever we sell bulls to visit those farms within 12 to 18 months time to see how's it going with the bull, what does the first calves look like, and especially on the commercial side we focus very hard on the commercial customers and to try and get to the bottom of exactly what their needs are and what type of animals perform at their farm, you know. And I think if we can keep on doing that and getting the right product out there, the growth opportunities for the breed is just endless.
Yeah, I started off this conversation by saying how quickly it goes down here in this part of the world. It goes from fairy tale to dull and overnight almost. And from December on, you guys barely have any grass. It's basically what you baled, what you planted, and what you can reuse now. But there's always the perception when people look at stud animals and say, no, but they must be feeding grains and maize, and those things are probably eating pudding from day in and day out. They'll never adapt to my farm. And that's not a sort of message, first not the sort of cow you want to sell or bull you want to sell to anyone. How do you work as a business overall, because you are fruit farmers and stud farmers at the same time? How do you put these two together and make sure it works?
Yeah, well, Tinus, I think regardless of what we want to sell, the type of animal that you just mentioned is also not the type of animal we want to farm ourselves with, you know, because we're commercial cattle farmers first, and yeah, then we want to breed animals that can really take the breed forward, and also you know, we want to do business again. So it's very important that the animals adapt, and we cannot afford to feed them because we don't have grain. We are not grain farmers, so we have to buy it in at the commodity price, you know, which will just be absurd, because they will literally consume their own worth and value. And so we put in quite a lot of work. Sorry.
You're enjoying yourself.
She agreed. We put in quite a lot of work to manage the roughage in our system, you know, with the bales and how we do the grazing management. And then we also use some of the fruit that's not suitable for the packing, which we mix, and which we mix with wheat straw and we put that out to the animals, you know, and it also helps us on the fruit side with the phytosanitary requirements that we need there. What happens to the fruit that can't be used? So yeah, that helps.
Yeah, so it's sort of a management system and fruit system that works quite well, and a business system. You're saving on the one side, plus you get to feed these guys roughage on the one side that they need in their ruminants, but get to add the calories and that sugar or that high or some the calories that actually need to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially the fact that we've got 2 breeding seasons, which just helps a lot, because then we can let our heifers calves the first time at 30 months and not necessarily 24 months, which I think is too young for the limousines, and 36 months, which I think is too late for us from a cost perspective. And the fruit with the roughage in the dry season help us it help us to get that second group of calves, that second calving group, you know, to get them actually to wean without damaging our cows. So that helps a lot.
Lastly, you say you've got auctions every 2 years. Are we expecting one next year?
Yeah, absolutely. We are excited already. 26 August 2023, I think it will be our largest auction again. We're planning on 60 bulls and it will be 80 to 90 females. We're hoping to offer quite a few of our SA champions there, amongst others. And so yeah, we're building towards that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, pleasure speaking to you. I'm looking forward to that auction, and we'll definitely talk again.
Thanks, Tinus. Always nice to have you and your team here.
Okay, there you have it. All the way here from Larone in Tilburg. Make sure you watch out for some more videos. We will come and visit you next year. But for now, all the way from Larone. Until next time. Cheers.